Awesome. Yay. It's so great to see people joining.
I know the chat really lit up.
Yes. Oh, awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Hello. All right, great. It's so exciting to see people coming in and saying hi in the chat. Please feel free to let us know where you're joining from. We're excited to see where everyone is coming from tonight. Awesome, California and New Mexico right off the bat.
Rio Rancho.
Oh, awesome. I'm coming from Oakland as well. It's great to see you. Hi.
Nice.
Oh, this is so exciting. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. We'll let people keep letting us know where you're coming from. Keep saying hi in the chat, and we'll get started in just a couple of minutes. Maybe just one more minute.
So many different places.
Yes. I'm seeing Brianna Perez a lot. Bree, are you with students right now? I'm seeing a lot of highs from Bree. Awesome. Hi, everyone. All right, people are definitely going to keep coming in, and that's great. We're so excited to have you all tonight. I'm so excited to see people coming from all over. But I'm going to go ahead and get us started. So my name is Jo, and I work with Scientific Adventures for Girls. We are an organization that provides after-school STEM programming to students in kindergarten through 6th grade, with a special focus on girls and gender-expansive youth in marginalized and historically excluded communities. So our goals are to increase positive attitudes towards STEM, provide hands-on learning opportunities for students, and encourage lifelong learning of STEM subjects. We're all continuing to learn about science every day. And then besides me, we have a great team supporting the event tonight. So from Scientific Adventures, we have Stella, who's going to be behind the scenes, kind of supporting us with our polls and our chat. And then Tatiana and Deborah from Sandia National Labs, and they're going to be interacting with you all in the chat and the Q&A, and providing us with a really fun and active intermission. So I'm going to pass it over to my collaborator for the evening.
Thank you. Hey everybody, I'm Anthony from Explora Science Center in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And if all of those in the chat who are from New Mexico, just drop in there if you've been to Explora and if you have, what your favorite exhibit is. And all those who are from California, if you can, take the time to come over to New Mexico. We got a really killer science museum that you should come check out. Although I know there are a ton of awesome science centers here in the state of California as well. It's nice meeting you all, and thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anthony. And thank you to everyone for being here. We are so excited. Our event tonight is all about balloon science. We're going to get to explore balloons and some of the surprising and exciting things that we can learn about with balloons. May seem kind of magical at times, but there's science behind it all. And as you all have been doing a great job of already, please use the chat function. Again, this is a webinar, so we can't see your faces or hear your voices tonight, but are so excited to get to see you all saying hi and using the chat feature, and continue to use it throughout the evening. Just a couple of reminders. Internet can be tricky sometimes, so if your video starts to slow down or get a little glitchy, just try your best to be patient, and just know that this event is being recorded and will be posted on our YouTube in the next few days. So if you missed something or if you don't have the materials tonight, you can still follow along and then come back and revisit the video and try some of the activities on another day. If you have questions, you can use the question and answer feature and we'll do our best to answer it. And again, in case you don't have a pre-made kit tonight, we will post any materials that you'll need in the chat, and we'll do it right now, and we'll do it again throughout the evening so you know what you'll need to join us in our activities. We'll also be asking the adults in the audience to participate in a few different polls throughout the event. So please stick around and keep your ears open just so you can hear when we need you to come to action. And thank you, Stella, for posting those materials in the chat.
All right. If you've received an FSN kit in the mail for tonight's event, go ahead and grab it now. Well, don't worry, we'll give you plenty of time to get yourself set up and get ready, but you'll be able to follow along with us. Our We Love Balloon Science event will last about 1 hour, and at the end of the night, we'll be raffling off some exciting prizes. So please stick around, because in order to win, you have to be here to win it. So stick around.
Yes, please stay for the whole event. Again, we're so excited to have you. In just a minute, we're going to send out our very first poll. So adults, this is where we need your help to take the poll for you and your household members. You'll be asked a few questions that will help us know a little bit more about who's joining us tonight. It will just pop up on your screen. We'll give you 1 to 2 minutes to fill it out. It's just 3 questions for you and your family. So fill them out as best as you can and then submit them. And Stella's going to go ahead and launch our first poll, and there it is. Awesome. So just take a couple minutes and fill that out.
While you guys are doing that, I noticed a few questions about some substitutions that you can make. So don't worry, we'll kind of walk you through it as we do the activities. But like if you don't have a packet of salt, for instance, or you got water on it and all the salt dissolved, it's okay. You can use any salt. All salt's the same. And you don't need a whole lot to do these activities. So that's the cool part. The balloons, it doesn't matter what kind of balloon you use. In fact, as scientists, right, we highly encourage that you try different kinds of balloons. You might get different results. Be the scientist that you guys are.
Awesome. All right, we'll just give you a couple more seconds to wrap up that poll. I see a couple more questions. Another one about a charged balloon. Thanks, Courtney. We'll get to that shortly. I'll let you all know what a charged balloon is so soon, but don't worry about it just yet. All right. So thank you for taking the first poll. As a reminder, we have a couple more coming on later around intermission and then towards the end. But I think we've done enough talking and enough introductions for now. So I think it's time for us to get started with balloon science. Anthony's going to start us off.
All right. I am super excited. Okay, so I have obviously a bunch of balloons just like you do because I love balloons. And for the first part of the demonstration, we are going to pop a balloon. So I'm only warning you, it's going to be kind of loud. So if you don't like the sound of balloons, you can cover your ears or you can kind of quiet your audio. And once the balloon pops, obviously, you will then know what happens and you can just turn the sound back on. So I'm just going to blow up my balloon real quick. And I hope you're a fan of polka dots. So I'm now tying my balloon. And I have here a skewer. So my first question to you guys is, if I were to poke my balloon with the skewer, what do you think is going to happen? You can just drop your prediction in the chat. I'll wait a couple of seconds so I don't spoil the surprise. We got some pops. Yep. Let's see, it'll make a hole and puncture it. It's going to explode. And I unfortunately have both of my hands occupied, so I won't be able to cover my ears. So you might see me jump from the pop. That wasn't so bad. But nothing unexpected happens, right? You guys all correctly predicted what was going to happen with the balloon. Ooh, Chloe was very specific and said that air might leak through. That's technically true. So what happens here is that as I inflate the balloon, and I'll do it, when I inflate the balloon, right, air pressure is what gives the balloon its shape. If you guys have ever made like a water balloon, the water on the inside is what gives the balloon its shape at that point. And you can kind of like jiggle it around and it kind of like wiggles about like jelly. And so you can kind of see, right, that when I poke the balloon, all that air is trying to get out. And now I've just created a hole and it wants to rush out as quickly as possible. So what typically happens is my balloon will then kind of like tear into pieces, just like this practice balloon I had before did. But what if I told you that there was a way to poke the balloon so that it didn't pop? Let's try that. So I have my balloon here. It looks like I surprised some of you. And I am going to stick my skewer in from the bottom here. And I'm carefully pushing it through. There it goes. And now you can see that my skewer is inside the balloon. Can you guys see that? Sticking through like that. Do you see it kind of wiggling around in there? Why didn't it pop? Yeah, it's like magic. I can tell you guys are all mind-blown emoji right now. And I don't know if you can hear, but listen carefully. The air isn't even leaking out. Now, if I pull the stick out, people are right. If I pull the stick out, it'll start to deflate. But why didn't it pop? Well, the secret is I don't know if you can see right here, the rubber is like slightly different in color here. So it's thicker here than it is here. So if I were to poke it over here like I did the first time, boom. But because the rubber is thicker here, when I push it through, it kind of grabs the stick. And so it doesn't really stretch, or I should say it stretches a little bit more in this area than it does over here. Now I'm going to pull this out and say goodbye. Oh, that was a surprise. I didn't even expect that. The hole kind of closed up and now it's not, the air isn't leaking. As I squeeze it, can you hear it? Anyways, yeah, so now this balloon is still inflated. I was expecting it to kind of blow up. Okay, now I have one more demo to show you. You guys correctly predicted that if I were to take a stick to a balloon and poke it, it would pop. And I showed you a way to make it so that it doesn't pop. Now, I have here a flame. And it's a little hard to see on my camera, but trust me. So I just have a basic candle here. I'm gonna hold this balloon, this green balloon that you saw with the polka dots. I'm gonna hold it over the flame. What do you guys think is gonna happen? Let you drop. Ooh, some people say melt, pop. You're gonna set the balloon on fire or melt it. You guys would make perfect scientists because you understand this prediction game. And we have a few different answers, right? Some people say it'll melt. Some people will say it'll put the flame out. Some people say it'll pop. Some people say it'll catch fire. Lots of different things. I'm going to hold it over my flame. And it popped so much that the air ended up putting out my flame. So now I got to relight it. Go. Okay. Now, you guys are expecting some magic from me. So this time I have a balloon and it's kind of hard to tell, but there is a tiny bit of water in the bottom. And I'm going to hold it over the flame and I want you guys to see what happens as I hold the balloon over the flame. Now before, it took only like 1 second for the balloon to pop. And I've been holding it over this flame now for about 10, 15 seconds. And if we look at the bottom, you can kind of see, I don't want to get too close to the flame because otherwise I'll get water everywhere. But you can kind of see that the rubber is starting to melt over here. So if I hold it back over, but why isn't it popping like it did before? That's the question that plagues your minds. Okay, I'm going to flip my camera back around. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so some people says the water does something. And that's exactly right. If I touch the bottom of my balloon, I can feel that the texture is different. The rubber is kind of burning, it's melting, and the rubber itself is a little different. It's kind of hard to tell because my camera quality isn't the best. But what happens is with your empty balloon, right, the rubber gets hot and it starts to melt and it creates a hole and bam. But with the water, yeah, Lillian's got it right. With the water, the heat from the rubber goes into the water. And so the water kind of keeps the rubber cold. Not cold, but it keeps the rubber cool enough so that it does not melt. It does not pop. So all that water carries the heat away. Think about it like this. If you were to drop like a drop of water on a hot frying pan, you hear that tss, right? And then the water evaporates super quickly. But if you poured a ton of water on that frying pan, the heat from the pan goes into the water and it sizzles for a second, but eventually it cools and the water still stays. And it's doing the same thing. It's just transferring that heat from one surface to another. Okay, I'll be back in a little bit with way more activities, but I'm going to pass it back over to my colleague Joe, and she's got another activity for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Anthony. I was definitely surprised a couple times. And I wish I had polka dot balloons like you. I don't have those cool balloons tonight, but I have some good colors. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And now, we got to see some cool things with balloons, but now it's our turn to grab some of our materials and get started with some balloon challenges of our own. So now is the time for you to, maybe you got a kit in the mail, so you have some materials, or you have some of your own materials at home. And again, if you don't have the things to use tonight, still follow along, and you can always try this again at another time. So the first thing that you're going to need is a balloon. And I actually have a couple ready to go. I'm going to use a green one tonight. But the first thing that you need to do is go ahead and blow up your first balloon. And some of you might have done this before, but we're going to try a couple things with it tonight. So, my favorite color is green too. That's why I chose this one. Go ahead and blow it up about this size. You want it nice and inflated. And once you have your balloon blown up, maybe you can guess what I'm going to do with this. But you're going to go ahead and just start rubbing it right on your head, just like that. And if you don't want to rub it on your head, you don't have to, because also you can use your arm. It's a really great place. And I know someone earlier asked me what a charged balloon is, and that's exactly what we're doing right now. When we are rubbing this balloon, we are charging it up, and I'm going to explain a little bit more about that. But as you can see, something is happening here. My balloon is attracting and pulling my hair from my head, and I can't see all of you. I really wish I could, because I bet that some of you are having a similar experience right now. But the balloon is attracting my hair. Yes, it's getting a little frizzy. I can kind of hear it. So we're gonna go ahead and charge that up really good. All right. So now once you have it charged, you tried it on your hair, you can go ahead and, I don't know if you can see it so good, but you might be able to try it on your arm. And my arm hairs are also standing up a little bit. When I take it away, they fall down. And when I bring it back, they come back up. Yes, perfect. All right. So we have one charged balloon. What I want us to do next is plot another material from our kit. And something that you should have in there, or maybe you have around the house, is a little bit of tissue paper. So what you're gonna do with the tissue paper is, I have scissors, I'm gonna cut it into some small little pieces. But you can also just tear it up into some little pieces. And I will show you what that's gonna look like. I'm gonna move my camera a little bit so you can see. All right, so I have my tissue paper down here. I'm just gonna cut it into these little pieces. You can explore different sizes. They can be actually any size you want. It'll be interesting maybe to see how different sizes respond. All right, so I have some little pieces here. And what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take my balloon that I had just been charging on my head, and I'm gonna bring it close to these little pieces of tissue paper. And you got really good at this with Anthony. I saw you all making great predictions. So maybe you can go ahead and share in the chat, what do you think will happen when I take this charged balloon and bring it close to these little pieces of tissue paper? I'm like really charging this balloon up right now. I don't know if you can hear it. Awesome. Yeah, someone says they think it'll stick. The paper will lift up. Those are awesome suggestions. Great predictions. Are you ready to see what's going to happen? All right, I'm going to bring my balloon in close. Oh, and look at that. I've almost got all of them. I even got this really great large piece of tissue paper. So you can see that, yes, your predictions were correct. The paper was attracted to the balloon. That's a great science word. Do I even have a hair in there? That's a great attraction. So the balloon, the charged balloon, picked up those little pieces of paper. Why do you think that happened? I would love to hear some ideas of why you think the paper was attracted to the balloon. Let's see if anyone has any hypothesis that they can share in the chat. Ooh, I see some great science words in there. Electricity, electric charge, static electricity, awesome. What a great team of scientists we have with us tonight. Yes, it was charged because of static electricity. So what happens when I'm rubbing this balloon on my head is there's an imbalance of electrons, and they transfer from my hair from my head to the surface of this balloon. And since this balloon is made out of rubber, it can't conduct electricity. So all of those electrons are kind of sitting on the surface of the balloon, right? So this balloon has a really, really strong negative charge. I see a lot of people commenting that electrons have a negative charge. And this really strong negative charge is able to, we'll show it one more time, is able to come down and pick up these pieces of paper, even that really great big one. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing those predictions. You all were spot on. Good job. All right, we're gonna try a couple more things with this balloon. So some of you, well, if you got a kit, you have a little packet of salt, or maybe you have salt at home. So I have my salt in this little bowl, and I'm gonna go ahead and pour some salt out. And I also have, just so I think it'll be easier for you to see, I have some red pepper flakes. They're a little bigger. So it might be easier for you to see this on your screen. So I'm gonna charge my balloon again. And let's hear those predictions. What do you think is going to happen when I bring this charged balloon close to the salt and these red pepper flakes? Someone thinks it will pop. Someone thinks it'll move. That's a really great prediction. Let's hear a couple more before I show you, before you see what's going to happen. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Ooh, blow away. Interesting. Thank you for sharing your predictions. All right. Are you ready? I'm going to bring the balloon close. You can see its shadow coming in. Let's see what's going to happen. I don't know if you can hear that sound, but let me show you my balloon right now. It is covered in salt and red pepper flakes. So if you guessed, if you predicted that it would pick those up, that is exactly what it's doing. So they are also attracted to the strong negative charge on the balloon. All right, we're going to try one more thing, and I'm going to ask you to blow up another balloon. So take a second and blow up one more balloon. What a great connection that I see in the chat. Someone said it's like a magnet. Yes, that is a really, really great connection to make. That this negative charged balloon is picking up these positively charged materials, the salt and the pepper. All right, so now that you have your other balloon, I'm going to go ahead and charge this balloon as well. So we'll just get this other side of my hair nice and frizzy. I'm going to charge it. And I want to know what you think. I'm going to bring it close to my green balloon that has salt and pepper on it. And I'm going to see if I can get, and I'm not sure if you can hear it, but I can hear it or see it. And now there's salt on this purple balloon. So the salt jumped from the green balloon to the purple balloon because it had a stronger charge. All right, I'm going to turn them around and we're going to try one more thing because now you have two balloons. And I'm going to get salt everywhere. That's okay. All right, what I want you to do, actually, I'm going to use this one, is rub both of your balloons on your hair or on your arm or on your clothes. All of those things help. Get them really nice and charged. And you can set one down, and I actually have mine on a string so you can see. So I'm going to bring my green balloon close to my yellow balloon, and they're both charged right now. So what do you think is going to happen when I bring the two balloons close together? Let's see if anyone has a prediction. A lot of things have stuck together so far tonight. What do you think might happen? All right, we have some opposing predictions. That's great. All right, I'm going to bring it close. Ooh, it might not be charged enough. Let's try that again. All right, let's try it again. I'm going to get them both really, really, really charged. And let's hope, let's cross our fingers that it works. All right, whew, very staticky in here. I'm bringing the green balloon close to the yellow balloon. There we go. I'm bringing it close and trying to touch it, but it's just barely moving away. It's just barely moving away. And a lot of you made that prediction. Get my staticky hair out of here. A lot of you made that prediction that they would push apart. And that's because now when they're both negatively charged, they are opposing forces, right? So they have the same charge and they don't connect. Whereas when they have opposite charges, they were attracted. Thank you so much for sharing your predictions and for trying this out with me. Something that I was trying at home with my balloons was seeing what other types of materials around my house I could get it to pick up. So I encourage you to try that challenge at your house and see if you can find other things that you can attract to your balloon. So now you've already done a lot of hard work. I'm going to ask you to save those balloons because you're going to use them later, so don't get rid of them yet. And if that activity went by a little too quickly, don't worry. You can always continue to explore at home or check out our recording later on YouTube. But we are going to go ahead and take a short break. So we're going to come back together, and I'm going to pass it over to Deborah from Sandia, who's going to lead you through a short intermission.
Great job, team. Good job Yo, so good evening, scientists. Thanks again for joining Scientific Adventures for Girls. So it's time for a brain break, and we're also going to do a dance party. Who likes to dance? Okay, well, we're going to do it anyway. And also, since it's Valentine's week and I've got my heart apparel on, we're going to talk about the heart. So tell me, group, what does the heart do for the body? Anybody in the chat? It pumps blood. Yep. Perfect. Yep. It pumps blood throughout our entire body to our vital organs to make sure that we are living and moving and breathing, right? So I'm also going to teach you how to take your pulse rate or your heart rate. Does anybody know where you can do that on your body to take your heart rate? How fast your heart is beating, or sometimes called the pulse. Your wrist. Yep. You can do your wrist. Where else? Yep. Sometimes you can feel it in your ankle. Sometimes you can feel it in your foot. And so here I find, since I've taught CPR for a long time, I feel like I can feel the pulse really well right here. So let's everybody find a place either on your wrist, your foot, or your neck. Put your 2 fingers right there and see if you can feel. And you can also, yes, with your chest as well. You did this one before? Okay. So what we're going to do, you guys, is we're going to take our pulse. Okay. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds. So I want you to find that area and I want you to write that number down. Okay. And then we're going to double it. Then we're going to have our dance party and then see what our heart rate is after. Okay. So everybody ready? Let's take our pulse for 30 seconds. Get set and go. Yep, you can feel it. Perfect. Just a little bit more time. Keep counting. And stop. All right, you guys, write down that number because you're going to need it later. But first, what I want you to do is I want you to double that. Okay. And so that would be for a minute's time. If you were to, take it by 2, that would be 60 beats per minute for me because I got 30 and then I doubled that. So 60 beats per minute. Okay. So remember that. All right, good. I see some 60s. Anybody else? 58, 80. Yep. Those are all good normal heart rates. All right, now you guys, I'm going to have our DJ Stella scratch the music and we're going to do a few dance moves and kind of just exercise a little bit and see what happens to our heart. Okay, so scratch it, DJ. Let's do it. All right, everybody. What I want you to do is just do a step touch with me. Can you see the balloons in the back? Just step touch right and left. And now I want you to reach your arms up to the ceiling. Keep it going. All right, guys. Now I want you to start jumping with your hands up. When you dance, sometimes you jump. You're jumping.
Alrighty, so it looked like our friend Deborah had some connection issues, but now that we did a lot of exercising, how fast is your heart going? Now we got our numbers from last time and doubled it. So let's go ahead and count again. We're gonna take 1 minute and take again at your neck or at your wrist. Count how much your heart is going. How fast is it going? We're gonna wait 1 minute. Mine's going super fast. How fast is it? Your heart going? Woo, that was a lot of workout. Oh my goodness, 120. Okay, so if everybody has their numbers, go ahead and double them just like we did last time. We have 100, 124, 190. Oh my goodness, yes, we all got our heart rate up. I know mine was going super quick. All righty, wow, 600, what? Super fast. Thank you everybody for exercising with us. We all had a lot of fun, and I'll go ahead and pass it on to our next activity.
Thanks, Tatiana, and thank you, Deborah. We are going to let our participants take a little breather and kind of relax a little bit after some dancing, and we're actually going to go ahead and launch our second poll of the evening. So again, it's just a couple of questions. Please just go ahead and take a minute to answer them and submit. And again, this really helps us understand our audience and help us plan exciting and fun family STEM nights for the future. All right, and while you are wrapping up that poll, we're about to go into our next hands-on activity. So you can get the rest of your materials ready. And we're gonna come back together to do our last hands-on activity of the night. Again, you're gonna need those balloons from before. And I'm gonna pass it back to Anthony, who's gonna take us into our final activity of the evening.
Thank you, Joe. All right, you guys are all revved up from your dance party break. So we're gonna keep our brains and our hearts pumping with this next one. And actually, Joe, you gave me a great idea for an activity to try. Because I learned all about static electricity, I think we can make a moving butterfly sculpture. What do you guys think? So you notice in the chat, thank you, Stella, we put, you need a balloon again, you need some tissue paper, glue, a glue stick, or tape if you have that too. My glue stick broke just before this, so I'm gonna use tape and tissue paper. And you might want to also have a piece of construction paper as well. Okay, so first things first, every butterfly needs wings, right? And butterflies also need other parts. What do butterflies look like? Can you guys describe it to me in the chat? And then I'll have some clue what I'm going to be making. So what are the parts of a butterfly? We got antenna, wing, color. Ooh, that's a good one. They're delicate, that's true. Wings, lightweight floating insects. They have patterns. Very cool. I have a whole bunch of different tissue paper here that we can use. So I'm going to be using the tissue paper for my wings, and I'm going to be using a colorful piece of paper as my body. And I'm just going to show that to you right now. So I got this. This here, it's a kind of a floral pattern for my body. And because I have to represent New Mexico, I got the turquoise color that I'm going to be using for my wings. So first things first, let's go ahead and make our bodies. I'm going to flip my camera around so you guys can see what I'm drawing here. And so I'm just going to use the back side. I'm saving the colorful side. I'm going to use the back side, and I'm going to draw my butterfly here. Now I'm going to skip the antenna for now because they'll be really hard for me to cut out. But if you want to draw antenna, you can. I actually was testing it earlier, and I tried to make a butterfly with antenna, and I accidentally broke one off while I was cutting it out. So this one has one antenna, which, you know, sometimes you see in nature too. So I've got my butterfly body here, and I invite you to follow along with me. I'm going to cut this out. I'm only going to cut, I'm not going to cut both pieces. You see how I drew this here? I'm not going to follow all the lines. I'm going to follow only the outside line. And I had to get resourceful with my scissors. I'm using kitchen shears. Don't worry, I'll wash these before I make dinner tonight. And I'm cutting out my head. Sorry, my paper is really big, so it's hard to keep it in camera. And you can design this to look like whatever you look like. Your butterfly hopefully looks very different than my butterfly. There's lots of butterfly species. Maybe you're making a bird instead of a butterfly. Maybe you're doing a different kind of animal. It doesn't matter. It's a moving sculpture and it's your creation. So you can make it whatever you want to make it. All right, I'm almost done with my body here. I'm just cutting out the last little bit. And there we go. Okay, so just like I showed you, I cut out the outside, and I'm going to flip it around so you don't even see this line. Bam, now I have a very colorful, just like you guys described, beautiful butterfly. And I now need wings, right? You guys described it. I need wings. If you're going to do something else, just think about what it is on that new thing that you want your creature, the part of that creature that you want to move. Okay, so because I'm making wings, I got to make 2 wings. I folded my tissue paper in half. And what I'm going to do is cut both halves together so that I get 2 wings really quickly. And I'm just comparing this butterfly wing, my butterfly body to scale so that I make sure that my wing is not bigger than my butterfly itself. So this is going to be the part right here that attaches to my butterfly. And then I'm going to just kind of make a big lobe. Oops. A big lobe on the top and a smaller lobe on the bottom. And that's a little weird looking, but that's okay. Okay, that's better. You can even, if you want, if you have patterned tissue paper, you can use that. You can draw or color your tissue paper. Now I kind of made a mistake here, but I'm just going to cut out the outside of this, and I'm going to cut both pieces together, creasing my line. If any of you do origami, you'll know all about the creasing, very important aspect of wing making, origami folding. I'm just going to go ahead and cut my wings out. How big are your wings? Do you have big wings? Did you make small wings? Is your butterfly big? Did you make a big body or little body? Did you do a big body and big wings, or did you do a big body and little wings? Did you do a little body and big wings? Lots of combinations. Like I said before, there's a whole lot of variation in nature, and so you can make your butterfly whatever you want. Did your butterfly come from an alien planet? I'm a big fan of sci-fi, so we can say that mine is extraterrestrial. All right, I'm almost done here. I'm just cutting up the main part that I'm going to attach to my body. And then once I have that out, now I have my 2 wings, just like this. Okay, so I got my wings and I've got my body. Let's attach these together. And I'm literally just going to use a couple of pieces of tape to attach them here. You can use glue. If you're going to use glue, a piece of glue stick, you can just rub the glue here and here and then tape it, or sorry, glue it down to the body itself. I'm going to just stick a piece of tape on mine. So I'm going to kind of put it in between And I got to be careful that I don't move the whole thing. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Move it a little closer together. There we go. Put the tape down right in between. And it's not so important how you do this. You don't have to get it perfect. In fact, engineers all the time, right? They don't make things perfectly. They iterate, they design, they test it out. If it doesn't work, then they try again. And so that's kind of this process here. So I kind of just put the tape down just to hold it down, right? My wings can separate, they can flap. And we're going to test Joe's technique to see if this works. So I'm gonna have to use the arm technique because I don't have as much hair as you guys. So I'm gonna rub the balloon in my head. Let's see if I can build up my static charge. Let's see, I'm gonna test it on my arm first. Oh, I can feel the hair standing, so we're getting there. Okay, I can hear the crackling, I can feel the crackling. So here's my butterfly, and I'm going to hold it carefully. All right, on the body. And as I bring the balloon closer, what do you guys notice happens to my sculpture here, my butterfly sculpture? Whoa. Yeah. Did anybody get theirs butterfly to flap? I'm gonna hold it this way so you can kind of see it. And if you start to lose charge, you guys know what to do. You guys are pros at this already. Whoa, it pulled the butterfly right out of my hand. So yeah, and then if you do it in the right spot, can you get both wings to flap at the same time? There we go, I got it. I can play with this all night, and I hope you guys did too. Oh, we got a dragonfly. Very cool. So now you know how to make a butterfly. You can do other kinds of creatures, bugs, birds, trees. You can make a tree flapping in the wind. So much variation. And I just want to thank you guys for spending this time with me, for spending this time with Joe, but don't go yet because we have a little bit more in store. And so, Joe, I'm going to kick it back over to you. Bring us home.
Thanks so much, Anthony. That was awesome. I'm going to share what I made. I tried to make a snake. So I'm going to share really quickly. I thought I could make a snake kind of uncoil. And he just kind of lifts all the way up.
Ooh, very creative.
It was so fun. Thank you for showing us how to do that. That was great. All right, everyone. This has been a lot of fun, and we are getting pretty close to the end already. So we are going to launch our final set of poll questions. I know we said we do 3. This is the 3rd one. So adults, please help by answering them for your family. And then, you'll have about a minute or 2 to answer them. And, we've been working really hard throughout the year to host a variety of virtual family STEAM nights for families to enjoy. And again, your feedback is just so helpful to us to improve future events for you. Thank you again for participating. I'd love to hear from some folks. Are there any different moving sculptures that you want to try to make? We did butterflies, and I saw dragonfly, and I tried a snake. Are there other animals? Ooh, a dragon, another dragonfly. Those are great ideas. A bear, very cool. A flying cat, awesome. These are such great ideas. And don't leave yet, because we are about to let you know who our raffle winners are. So we're gonna wrap up the poll in just a second. And so your participation tonight and staying through to the end of the event is what enters you into our raffle. And we have some great prizes. And again, since we have folks joining us from California and from New Mexico, we have some different prizes to offer. So we have here in California a gift card to Ruby's Cafe. We have a bug catching kit, and we have a really fun building kit. And then we also have some prizes for folks in New Mexico. So some really fun marble run toys where you get to like build almost like a roller coaster tube for a marble, and some family passes to Explora. So we're gonna have 3 winners for each state. So definitely stay on and look at that. Stella is ready to go. I'm just gonna spin the raffle wheel.
This wheel is so cool.
Yes, and Anthony's going to announce our winners for us.
I'm totally breaking the fourth wall because, ooh, Anita Aragon.
Awesome.
That's our first name. DM us your information in the chat. You can select, I think maybe Stella or Joe might be the best person to contact if you message them directly. Yeah, message them your address and your full name. And was there any other information we wanted to make sure we collected?
And maybe send us an email address just in case we need to get in touch with you before then.
Email. Perfect.
Yes. Thank you. All right, let's see who else.
Ooh, it almost got the same person. Anupriya, I hope I said that right. All right, that's 2. Teresa Soto. I love the fireworks. The fireworks is the best part.
Yes, it's very exciting. Congratulations to those winners so far.
And then Tatiana, will you add just the names in the chat as we announce them? Ernestine Trujillo is our 4th winner. I'm on the edge of my seat, literally. Lindsay Burton.
All right, just one more.
There's so many games I can play with this wheel of names. Joseph Crawford. So for those of you who just won, I'll just reiterate, send your email and your address via the chat, but only message if you click the little drop down right where it says to everyone, you should see specific people's names and you can send it to our hosts, Joe and Stella, Joe or Stella.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And congratulations to all of our raffle prize winners. Yes, please send us your information so we can make sure that we get your prizes to you. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. It was a lot of fun to get to do some balloon science with you all. Thank you to Explora and Sandia National Labs for collaborating and putting on such an exciting event with us. And please check us out on all of our different social media pages, Facebook and Instagram, and our website. And remember that you can revisit tonight's event on YouTube in a couple of days. We will post the entire video. So thank you all so much. Anthony, thank you again for being here with me. It was so fun.
Thanks for having me. This was awesome.
All right, everyone, have a great rest of your evening. Enjoy doing some more science at home. Have fun with those balloons. Thank you all so much. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you.